My name is Rebecca, and this is Jodie Loftus. She works here at the library.
I'm the one who edits these videos most of the time.
She helps me with her camera work all the time, making these videos, and she also helps me with editing, and you do the computer desk, and then you're working a different schedule than you normally do, like everybody else.
Yeah, everyone's kind of on a different schedule now. But yeah, I work the computers, I work with Rebecca to make these videos, so I have a really good time doing it too. So I'm normally the one behind the camera.
Well, we ran out of volunteers that wanted to be on camera for these videos. So Jodie here is going to help us out, and then there might be a couple people that help us, but then we might have to start repeating people if we don't find some more people that want to be on camera. It's hard to get people on camera around here.
People are afraid of being on camera.
Yeah, these librarians are shy people. Anyway, so that's another story. But today we're going to make, I have always wanted to make these crayon melting paintings. Jodie said she wanted to make one. So we thought this was the perfect opportunity to try out this craft. I'd never done it before. Had you ever done it?
No, I have only seen it in like YouTube videos and stuff where they like time-lapsed it and stuff.
Yeah, so we decided we were going to test it out. And it's very simple. You don't have to have that many things to do it. You do not have to use a canvas. You could use poster board even. A piece of wood that you painted white, probably. We used these little canvases. Remember we did our marble painting, and we had a whole bunch of these left over, so we just decided we were going to use these for this craft too.
It was really fun. I had a great time doing it.
I did too. It was a lot of fun. So what you want to think about is you have the crayons running down.
Kind of looks like rain. You can be either super colorful rain, or you can make it like a darker looking rain, or if you like greens, you can make it green, anything really.
I did one to match my house because I was going to do that. So what you have to think about is you have to think about where you want the crayons to stop running. So you want to do a little on your canvas, you want to do a little pre-drawing on here. And you can even print out, like Jodie did, she printed out these little
Totoro. It's Totoro and Chichiro and like a little sign. It's this really famous scene from My Neighbor Totoro, and I printed it out and cut it out so that whenever and then I did the outline of it, and then I taped it over so none of the stuff should get on it. However, the tape we used wasn't the best for it, so...
Yeah, we used regular masking tape, so you'll want to get some painter's tape, definitely. That'll stick a little better. Frog tape.
Yeah.
Frog tape would work. So the green or blue tape would work really good.
Mm-hmm.
So you take your artwork and you make an outline. As you can see her outline. She made an outline of her characters for this.
Yeah, I have a D&D group up at home, so hi guys, if you're watching, I love you. But... these are basically some of the characters from my D&D group. So I did their outlines so it looks like they're, in the dark.
And then we did the crayon run.
Yeah.
And then she came back and painted those characters in with black paint.
Again, yeah.
And on this one, she came back and she put in her Totoro characters back in there. My Neighbor Totoro characters back in.
Yeah, I glued them down because I thought that would be a whole lot easier. I just needed the spots to be a little cleaner than this so I could actually glue it down.
Because we didn't use the right kind of tape. So learn from our mistakes. We had a little bit of crayon running where we didn't want it to. So on mine, if you can't see it now because I covered it up, but on mine I had to cover up this area because it was running down in not making a straight line like we thought it would.
Yeah.
Because we failed to use the right kind of tape. But if you use frog tape or painter's tape, you'll be fine.
Yeah, it was just the heat. I think that the heat of it was making it not adhere as well, and so whenever it was blowing on it, it just kind of folded back over. Especially with this one and this one, like you could see little bits where it kind of ran in. No matter what I did.
Yeah, I had the same problem, and then I just went back in some of the places I didn't like. I just covered up with this hand typed out. Just a piece of paper. I might go back over this with shellac or something to keep this paper on there. I haven't decided what I'm going to do with that yet. But I wanted a message. I'm going to hang this up at my house, so I want a little message to put. I was going to give this as a gift to my husband, maybe.
Aww.
So I'm gonna try to figure that out in a couple weeks. So I just went back and I stopped mine here for the whole painting, and then I did whatever artwork I wanted to do in addition to the crayon run. And you don't have to be that fancy. You can look at you know, you can come up with your own idea. There's a whole bunch of ideas for this crayon run on the internet. You don't have to go by that. We proved that by doing our own designs.
Yeah. I do like the ones that have like the umbrellas, because it looks really cool, because it looks like it's running off the umbrella and around them, which is what I tried to do, but it didn't quite work out the way I wanted it to.
Yeah, so it's just kind of trial and error. And I guess the more you do this crayon run stuff, you would really be able to control it better. We had a little trouble controlling the way it ran from the crayon with the hairdryer.
You definitely need like a couple test runs, I think, before you get it perfect, because it was definitely very hard to get it to melt in the right direction.
So let's go over the steps again. So you take your canvas or your board or your paper, and then you draw out the outline that you want it to be going around. And then you mask that off with painter's tape, froggy's tape. Then you glue the crayons
one by
one. They don't have to be whole. It depends on how long you want it to run. I had to cut mine in little ones because I didn't want it to run very far.
And we tried different techniques. She kept the paper on.
I kept my paper on.
I peeled all of the paper off for mine.
Yes, so we did two different techniques to see if it made a difference.
I feel like mine melted really well. Like
yeah, mine did. I didn't want very much running because I didn't have that big of an area, so I made mine really small, and I was trying to control the way it was running, but it didn't end up that way, so it's okay. So it's whichever way you decide, but you can take the wrapper off and cut it, and you can do it different lengths through here if you want to.
Yeah, like with these, I cut them in half. Like I broke them in half, and then I took
and then you take the glue gun and you glue them down one by one along here.
And make sure that they're all pressed against each other.
Right.
Because you don't want any gaps.
And then you get your hairdryer, and after you have your area taped off down here, you go ahead and melt the crayons over it.
And with the way that you're pointing the hairdryer will definitely tell which way that it's going. Like you can see that I tried to get like this part to go this way a little bit and that part to go that way. So it was all running towards the middle part.
And so after you get your crayons melted, you're going to have to let this dry for like, I don't know, what do we let them dry for, like 3 hours or something?
Yeah, about 3 hours.
We let it set up for about 3 hours, and then we came back and we did the finishing touches where you clean up your edges, and then you add whatever other paint that you added black paint to this one.
Yeah, I did black acrylic paint for this one, and then I after this was dried and I peeled all the paint off, I put the glue down and glued down these little characters.
And those are the characters you had printed out to trace.
Yes.
So you can just put your little characters back on there, and then we'll probably Mod Podge over this paper so it'll stay on this canvas.
Yeah, and it'll stay longer, so if something brushes up against it, it doesn't start wearing away at it.
Or you can use Elmer's glue. Just get Elmer's glue, the regular old Elmer's glue, and just go ahead and paint a hole wherever you're not got your crayon. You can just paint the glue over it, and it will eventually dry. The Mod Podge will keep this from getting all, but you would just use the glue by itself. It wouldn't make it too wet. Just kind of go over it a little bit, and that might solidify it too if you don't have Mod Podge.
Yeah, it was really fun, although I will warn you, whenever you are melting it, bits and it'll drip a lot, and when it does, sometimes it'll fly off. I had a lot hit me on my hands. I had a lot hit me here. It doesn't hurt. It's just kind of warm.
Yeah, and we did put down a tablecloth. So if you do this
Yeah.
at home, make sure you get your parents to help you with the glue gun of the crayons, and make sure you get your parents to just observe you while you're doing this to keep and make sure they set up an area where you can do this safely without ruining any of your parents' items. So make sure they supervise you if you do this craft and you're under the age that you would need supervision. So,
and for the parents, it does splash out, so you're going to want to have it in the middle of an area rather than on the
we
edge
put
of
it
an
in the
area.
middle
Yeah,
of this
like
table.
right here, and we had some hitting over here and over there. Like it didn't get on the floor or anything, but little bitty bits kind of went everywhere.
Yeah, so you have to be aware of that. I would say go outside if you have a plug-in outside and set up you a table outside to do this on. That might be a better idea than doing it inside. We had a lot of supervision, so we were able to do it inside and safely. We didn't get it on anything in the library, so
We were really careful. We made sure to get all we moved some of the books away, everything.
yeah, we moved the table out, and so we made sure that it wasn't going to hit anything because it can fly, like you said. And so we don't usually do this craft in the library for makerspace, but since we have like paper mache, we didn't have the opportunity to do that because it was so long. This one we didn't have the opportunity to do this craft at the library because it's so messy, and if I had more than one kid, it might get out of hand. So
Yeah.
I thought this was the perfect time to try out this craft and report back to you, and you can do it at home and get your own results and see if you like it or not. But it was fun.
It was really fun, and I really like the mixture of colors, if I'm being honest. Like, I genuinely like it.
I really did too. And I think maybe sometime we're going to try to do the one with markers,
Yeah, I
where
think that'd
you
be
line
fun.
up markers and then you spray
Alcohol
alcohol
on it. Yeah,
and it'll run down too. So we might try that in the future.
I think masking tape would be okay for that one.
Yeah, that one would probably do okay with masking tape.
Just it was the heat aspect of it that really like messed up our masking
And that
tape.
might, we don't know if it would change the frog tape, or I feel like the paper tape, like the blue
The
tape
paper
and the
tape.
froggy tape sticks better. So
And I think it's kind of meant for doing stuff like this.
yes, and we don't know if it will come off with the hairdryer or not because we didn't try that yet, but we
Yeah.
feel like it would stick better.
Yeah.
So that it might not, because it's really not a very long time this melts and then you letting it dry, so it just holds on for a little bit longer than the masking tape.
It does surprisingly melt very fast.
I was really surprised that it melted that quickly.
Yeah.
'Cause you barely have to hold that. I was holding the hairdryer way away from it, and you barely have to get near it, and it just starts running down.
But make sure that you put your hairdryer on high and at the highest heat you can get it at,
Yes.
because otherwise it's going to take a much longer.
And I took the hairdryer home, and so I don't have it to show you for this video. I just used a regular old white cheap old hairdryer from the dollar store to do this craft. I'm sure if you had those really fancy ones with the
Yeah,
but
with
you need your mom's permission to use the hairdryer,
Yeah, and,
and
be
you
careful
need your
not to
mom's
press it.
permission to use this glue gun. So make sure your mom or parents or
Dad or
whoever's
whoever.
supervising you can be in charge of, giving you permission first, and second of all, setting you up a nice space to do this craft if you should decide to do this. All right, well, thank you so much.
Thank
and thank
you.
you, Jodie, for
Thank
coming out
you.
from behind this camera.
Yeah.
And we appreciate all the things you've done to help us be able to have makerspace on the video.
I appreciate. No, I'm having a great time. If I'm not here, I'm always going to be back behind that camera and editing everything. So I'm always here.
And we appreciate what she does for us. She also, if you didn't know, she also is in charge of the D&D.
Yeah, I run the D&D program. We have it here at the library every Tuesday. I mean, not right now, but once we open back up and have programs back running, I run every Tuesday, and it's super fun. So if you ever want to try D&D, you can come on out.
And then just explain for all the parents who don't know what D&D is. That would be for older kids, 18 and up.
18 and up, yeah.
And it's a role playing.
It's a lot of math. It is genuinely a lot of math. It is a lot of role playing. It is a lot of rules. But at the same time, it is a world of boundless imagination. It really is. The only limit of the imagination is the players. It's so much fun. I play it at home. I have a home group. That's why I made this one. It's for my home group. They have a campaign, and they have a little phoenix, which is this guy. And I have to play him because I'm the DM, and that means Dungeon Master. It means that I'm the person who runs them through the world. I'm the person who's all the NPCs, which is non-player characters. And that's what I do here as well, is I'm basically the world, and they get to run through it and become heroes.
So that's a lot of fun. And then you also are in charge of changing the electronic sign outside.
Yeah, I do all
that
the
gives you
stuff.
all the electronic messages. She's the one who fixes that up every time.
Yeah.
We have to change that big new sign that we got outside of the library. So if you're ever by here and you see the messages on the thing, you'll know who did that.
Yeah, that's me.
All right. Well, thank you for being with us today
Yeah, I
at the
hope you
Searcy
have
Public
fun.
Library in our makerspace, and we hope to see you again next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.